All right. So I guess we're going to talk a little bit about this WD2303. Most of you that know the channel, I've been on here since 2008. 2008 was the year I bought this machine, was 2008. So it's now 2024. So what is that? 16 years? Anyways, in those 16 years, I've had very little trouble with this machine. That is a mess that needs to be fixed, and I'm going to fix it. But the machine you saw at Messick's is identical to this one, except it's black under here instead of red. The case, windrower, and the New Holland are the same. At one point, they came out and welded these gussets onto there because they had lost a couple of rear ends in the way back. And this thing has a rear main oil seal leak, which is quite common for this machine. So yesterday, well, not yesterday, but a while ago, we had an issue with this nipple here. It got busted off. And I was always just going to go ahead and buy a new cylinder. Well, that cylinder is almost 700 bucks. So I said, you know what, I'm not going to buy a new cylinder. I had broke that off there and I brazed it, and then it started to leak. So inside there was a leak, which is fine. I was like, all right, well, I will just go to Zimmerman's. It's closer than Messick's by a long shot. I'll buy a new cylinder. Nah, not doing that. 700 bucks is an awful lot for that tiny little cylinder. And that didn't include the fittings. I would need one fitting. And I may have that thing around here someplace. But needless to say, I didn't need it that bad. So I went ahead and I bought the rebuild kit, which the rebuild kit was like $68. Well, $68 versus $680 is awesome, right? Perfectly cool. So I got the damn thing and I got it apart yesterday, no big deal, just did what I was supposed to do. And then when I was putting it back together again, this thing here, I don't know why, and I was being really gentle with it, it just found its way out of its slot and sheared it off, which is the sealing ring for that cylinder. Now I'm going to have to buy another one of those kits because I'm going to take it apart again because the damn thing, it's going to fail. I know it's going to fail, but there's a few things that need to be done to this machine. Like I said, it's 16 years old. This is the second head that we've had on it, which is fine. But this door handle here just so happens to be a thorn in my ass. So I've got it apart. Give me a second while I adjust my camera. You squeeze this, right? And then it releases it, but you got to squeeze this. John Deere's a little different, but similar. Anyway, there's a little doodad that goes in here. It looks like this, right? And on the inside is the nut. Well, that nut is supposed to be attached to this square block, and then you stick this through and then screw it fast. Now the problem is that this little doodad on the inside is designed to break off when you put it in there. And once it breaks off, A, getting it out of there is not a fun job, and B, how do you get it back together? Because that's white metal. You can't braze it, you can't solder it, you can't weld it. And you don't really want to, you want it solid. So what I did was I went and I got some hot glue, and I hot glued the darn thing. So for now, I have this hot, give me a second here. I'm going to clean this thing up too because these guys have got it pretty shitty inside. We're getting down to the last of what we need to do with this machine, and I just need to put the tripod up, and I'm going to flip you around so I can see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I hit the button. Anyway, I'm going to I turned you around here so you can see how I'm going to do this. So there is a plastic piece here. This guy here, that's the protector to cover all of that stuff up. And unfortunately, over time, that thing's gotten broken and is no longer a functioning part of society. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to gently, and I mean gently, because I don't want to break off the hot glue that I put on there. And hot glue, because it's white metal, oh, come on, holy smokes. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know about this thing. Okay, so what I can do is quite simple. Oh Lord, please don't break off. Okay. All right, is that how that's gonna go? The hot glue is just a little bit out of kilter, right? All right. All I gotta do is get those threads started, then I don't care if it breaks off. Yes. All right. I'll be back. I'm gonna go get, I might as well talk while I do this. I'm gonna go get a little bit of Loctite. It's not metric, but I've got enough Loctite on hand because there's a lot of metric things. Now the nice thing about these cases and New Hollands is that they are not that mishmash of metric and US standard stuff, which makes me happy most days. Let's see, is that red? Well, that's a red one. I don't want that. I'd like to have blue. If I could just find, oh, it's all red. Okay. Well, that's not a good thing because I don't want to put red on there. Well, I got green, which is retainer. It's not as good as, it's not as strong as the red, I don't think. It's really not meant for this. This is retaining ring, so if you have something that's a little hogged out, you load this shit up in there and then, you know, life's all good again. Now what I'll do is I'll back you out just enough that I can get a tiny little bit in there. Yep. All right. Well, what that'll do is it'll run down into those threads. And then I'm going to take this gun right here. Make sure it's going the right way. See if we can maybe put some screws to a little English on it, huh? Okay. Now that's solid. I should be able to shut that. There it is. All right, so that's how that worked. Now, for this guy, it just slides right over the top of that, right? And it kind of stays there. It won't come off because when you shut the door, let me get in here. When you shut the door, it can't come off, so it's there, which is pretty nice. And then obviously, let me flip you around here. Obviously, when you squeeze that, she releases. Now that's nice and solid again. It has not been that way for quite some time. It's always been this rattly pain in the ass, and I have not been in this machine much this year. I've moved it around a little bit and done other things to it, but I haven't really been in it. And when the back wheel broke off of this thing, it really has made it so that it's kind of lopsided. And I mean lopsided. You go down the road and the right side is lifted up in the air pretty high. And right now we are in a monetary deficiency because we haven't started to sell any beans yet. I've got some beans in the bin. Oh, that's that. Oh, let's see, is this cylinder leaking? Because I'm hoping it doesn't leak, because with that thing being broke out of there, I had to do a little bit of creativity, and I'm not seeing any leaks. There is some scoring on the ram, so I don't suspect this is going to last very long. Just as long as it lasts long enough till I can get the rest of this hay made, and then we'll worry about that. For this machine, that arm, or that dolly wheel, is not the right one. That is for the no rower 240, and that shaft is a little bit longer on that one because the no rower 240 had hydraulic shock absorber on there to try and keep the rear wheels from doing this fishtail and wobbling thing. So I can probably just chop that one off and, you know, chop it off there below, get rid of that, cut this off there and weld the sucker fast, reinforce it, make it the way it's supposed to be. And then it won't be so goofy going down the road and wear the tires funny, and or save me from having to spend a bunch of money on something and I don't really have the money for right now. And I guess this one's okay. Or I could fix that one somehow. I don't know. It snapped off. See, it snaps off right here. When you cut threads, and I'm no machinist by any means. I'm not a machinist. But I'll tell you this. When you cut threads in a round shaft, if you keep those threads sharp, it's like scoring a piece of glass, and it will break at the threads. That then becomes the weakest point. Now, if you took and got a rounding bit and you rounded the valleys of these threads so that they weren't such sharp, they would be just as strong as the rest of it. But because it's like a scoring point for that. So that's why it broke there, and obviously it is there. I might be able to just go ahead and I could probably Afro engineer that thing back together. And it probably wouldn't be too hard to do. And then just beat that thing back into submission, weld it up and stick it in there. Might be the easiest thing to do, or the smartest thing to do, because I can tell you right now that that hunk of metal is not cheap at all. And does anybody want to watch me do that? You know, that's just one of those things. Yeah, because I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to do something like that to fix this. That's just the way I'm looking at it. So I'm gonna move this International here behind me. I'm gonna move that out of the way. Timothy parked it up here for some reason, so I guess you can ride along for that. This has been converted over to 12 volts. I don't know if Tim shut the gas off or not. Let's see, what do we got? There it is. What the heck? There you go. Oh, the clutch is a little grabby. International start and run, so nice. I could see why people love them so much. I mean, I didn't even choke it. Timothy loves them. He's probably gonna kill it. There you go. He had a problem the other day, the damn thing, the outlet to the fuel tank was plugged. What the heck? Wants to steer to the left there. There, she finally woke up for real. You know, I think the brakes are kind of on. They put a diesel tractor on that little auger there when they could have just put this one on there. In my opinion, that's kind of silly. There you go. So that's that. Ugh. But I got to figure out that I'm going to flip that machine around, and we got to figure out that rear axle, because it's just, it really annoys me. There's a couple of things. Now, I got a new piece of equipment. It was sent to me. Apparently, our captain loved the video that I made of the machine they sent me like 2 years ago, and they decided that they would send me another one. Only it's different. It's not a welder, it's a plasma cutter. And I don't own a plasma cutter. Now, believe me, I do now, because they sent me this one, which is great, because if you don't own a plasma cutter and you need to cut something, as long as you've got electricity, you can cut it with a plasma cutter, all right? So they gave me the R Captain 55, cut 55, which, you know, somebody smacked into something with that thing somewhere and broke it off. I have to fix that. So anyways, you know, when they fuck up the mirrors, you can't see anything, right? Anyway, so they sent me another one because they're like, we're really sorry that this happened, and we don't think that it's representative of our product. Oh God, am I going to be able to get in there? It's not representative of our product, and we really like another chance to prove that this thing is better than what you think it is, or better than what we said it was, because we think you're going to really enjoy it.
Hooray.
Not really. There's two sides to every story.
Oh, there's two sides. I thought there was three.
There's not. That's a Filipino myth. There's two sides to every story.
Ow.
You can say there's three sides, but there's not. There's two. There's two sides to every story, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth.
Oh.
That is the way it is. It's not there's three sides to every story, because unless you've got a third party involved, there's two sides to every story. His and hers, theirs and them, whatever. Yeah. Somewhere in the middle lies the truth. You're not supposed to do that with ratchets. There's probably somebody screaming on the other side. You're ruining that tool. Yeah, no. That's the crazy thing is, it's my tool. If I want to do that to it, I will. Right, Mom?
Yep.
Okay. So now we're halfway there. I'm not liking this because the jack is moving.
Oh.
See how that jack is kicking?
Yeah.
You getting close?
Mm-hmm. Your jack is about to,
Yeah.
like,
We'll risk it.
oh my God. Oh! Every click. Yay.
Don't say yeah yet. I don't know if I can focus. I'm a little bit annoyed. How about you? You know, lately it has become an everyday basis thing. Who the hell's texting me? All right, so here it is, the R Captain, what is this thing? The Cut 55 Pro. Cut 55 Pro. So I guess R Captain felt that I did a good enough job with the welder, even though I didn't really do anything with the welder. I just welded with it, and I like the welder, right? It is a pretty good welder. It's actually a pretty damn good welder. I wouldn't... Oh, yeah? Well, cool.
Maybe I should learn how to weld.
Probably wouldn't hurt. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, and I know from the last one they have all these little R Captain stickers. Apparently welders like stickers.
They do?
Apparently, because why else would they put all these little stickers in there? I'll give them to William.
Cool.
It's kind of cool, yeah. Oop. All right. Ugh. Don't mind the messy shop. It's just normal stuff around here. I don't know if you find a shop that's clean, that just means it's not been used. The one thing I will say about this, there's a lot of things I'm going to say about it, but the one thing I'll say about it, it's tiny. The size of this thing.
It's so cute.
This is my hand. I mean, it's tiny, right? It's really small. So it'll run off of 110 or 220.
It's not about the size, dear.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's, you know, some people think that it's the only thing. Oh, that's how. What are you gonna get out of that little thing? Well, we'll get out of it what we get out of it. But anyway, so
Handy.
yeah, and it's light. It's really light. I don't know why I can't get that in there. Probably because I'm going backwards, but yeah. So it has a shoulder strap. Not that I think you would even use this, but I don't know. So we're just kind of going to put it on there because that's what they would probably want me to do because they sent it. So anyways, put the shoulder strap on just in case you need to climb to the top of the grain bin with it, which is a very likely possibility.
Yeah.
And then all it takes is an electrical cord. You can go up there, you disconnect the, and as light as it is, I mean, this thing is really freaking light.
How many pounds is it?
5 maybe.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's only, I mean, yeah, literally. Oh, look, I mean, there's a pinky. Super light. So, I've already attached the air hose. It comes with, it's off. It comes with its own air, who's it? You know what an air hose it is?
Yeah.
Air dryer. You don't know, because you're not even paying attention to me. No, you're not. Anyway, so it comes with its own little air thing. Real simple. You just put it on there. I thought it was kind of weird that they did that and then added this hose. So I'm just finishing putting this thing together. The reason it has a hose, this is the air hose. The air dryer is here. I wanted to just make this attached to there.
Right.
But air hose is a lot heavier. And I think that it would just break it off the back.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I'm just going to use their little air hose gizmo there. Pretty simple. This is the supply line for the air. Nice and tight. And these are your electrical connectors. They are directional, so you just kind of got to get it in the right spot. And you screw that on there, like so. So you're watching me set it up. It seems like it's going to set up really super easy. And it is. So it's got a washer. I thought it should be captive, but it's not a captive one for the nut. And you take this guy here. I'm going to route it under. Maybe I'll do it over. I don't know that it's going to make much difference, will it? Maybe I'll do it this way. I'll wrap it around a couple of times. I don't know. I just don't want it to be too loose and around in there. Because if it's too loose in there, then it can be a pain in the ass. Then you put the nut on there, like so. Tighten that down. So I just looped it so it wasn't all out and about. Maybe I'll do that with this one too. Take that back off of there. And there, right? So that kind of maybe.
That's the setup.
Fine, almost. Got one more thing, which is the ground wire. And this, I do believe, is it. You just give her a twist. And you're all together. Boom. So now, it's pretty much ready to go. That's how fast and simple it is to set it up. Now, the learning curve. I'm going to get the instructions out. And I never do this because real men don't read instructions. But apparently today I'm not going to be a real man. I'm just going to read instructions. Just because of the last time we had problems. Right? Yeah, right. Old man glasses. Got these from Costco. Pack of 3 for 18 bucks, right? $17.99. I don't think so. You told me it was 17.
$17.
You full of shit.
It is. I'll take a picture of it next time. I'll show you.
Oh, you're going to show me. Okay. So this wand, this is, you don't touch. And you don't touch anything. And I thought there were some parts. Oh, there's some consumables in here. I'm going to put everything back in this box in case something goes wrong and I have to return it, which I don't think is going to happen, but it could. So it comes with little consumable gizmos and a wrench to take them out. But these are not, they're not touch ignite. They don't ignite by touch. So I guess somebody has tested this one.
You said you're going to read the instructions?
I lied.
Goodbye.
No. Okay. Here's the wand. I am not a professional. I've never used one of these things before. Okay, turn it on. Let's see what happens. Anything? It came on.
There it is, number 55.
Let's see.
Cool.
I think I'm going to need a welding helmet for this. I think those are probably pretty good. First cut with the R-Captain R-Cut 55, right? Cut 55 Pro. Ready?
Ready?
I'm not. I think I'm going to be cutting this like that, so. Yeah. Holy shit.
That is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I need a welding helmet. Yeah, safety specs first.
Safety third.
Yeah, my helmet's over there, Teresa.
Helmet's over there.
Yeah, right there. All right, so I'm doing some plasma cutting with the Arc Captain Cut 55 Pro. This was sent to me to use. They're not giving me any money that I know of. They do have a promotional thing. They said something about 5% of your purchases would come back to me. I really don't care for that money, just because if I can help somebody out with a cheap option, you know, if you buy this in a Lincoln or a Miller, the plasma cutter that is, it's going to cost you a fair amount of money. If you buy it in a Hypertherm, that is going to be $2,500 for this little machine. I do believe it costs like $250 new if you were to buy one. These are great for homeowners, garages, small hobbyists. If you have a tool truck where you don't want to haul your very expensive equipment around in, you can throw an Arc Captain in there and just go to work, and it works really, really good. Now, when it comes to the welder, I've had this welder for nearly 2 years, and I got to tell you, in the beginning, I really didn't use it too much because I was only using it on 110. When I went to 220, it really brought this welder alive. It really did. It made it so that it welds very, very well. I'm using flux core with it because we do a lot of outside stuff, outside work. You can use gas, you can use MIG, TIG, and stick welding with this. It is a multi-process welder. I'm going to leave a description in the a link in the description below so that you can look at it if you're really interested. If you're not interested, no skin off my ass or yours. But I would recommend you take a look at them because they are a lot better than what most people would think.